Welcome to what is my first video ever. Please bear with me. I've done multiple bloopers at this point, just trying to get past the introduction, and I only find it slightly embarrassing, so I will attempt to move past that myself. And here we are. I'm bringing you the custom handmade 4th Doctor Tardis console from the Key to Time series. I made it myself, painted it myself. It's all handmade, hand sculpted, literally cutting the panels and little bits out of plastic and filing and sanding and more filing and more sanding and so on and so forth. Started it back in October. It's it took me about 4 months just to get through it, just to get everything compiled and painted and glued and sanded, and as I said, a lot of effort went into it, but I personally think it came out pretty well, so I'm here to share it with you. So I'll just give it a little spin around here before I get into all the good little bits. As you can see, painstakingly going through episodes and pictures to try and find all of the individual panels so I could make this console as accurate as possible. Unfortunately, in every episode, as some classic fans may have noticed, the panels move in every episode. So while you might get one good view of this panel over here in one episode, chances are you won't get it again. So it was difficult to find accurate portrayals of all the panels. I used the technical manual, I think the Tardis technical manual, the blueprints that were in that. But unfortunately the blueprints are based on the console later in the series, more towards the end of Tom Baker's era. So they weren't overly accurate for what I was wanting to come up with here. But anyway, I did the best I could with what I had, which was literally just random pieces of scrap. So yeah, this is what I managed to come up with. I should show you, it's to scale with the figures, with the 5-inch figures. As accurate as I could make it. Get a little view in there of him. And my personal favorite part is the little extras that I managed to fit into this thing. You may have noticed, if you, again, here I'll move him out of the way, if you're a fan of the original series, you may have noticed that these bottom panels seem a little bit wonky. They seem a little bit big, and there's also flat panels over here, and this odd switch and thing sticking out there. That's basically just so I could shove everything that I could into it, and without further ado, I will show you what I'm talking about here. Let me just plug it in and turn it on. And there we go. So as you can see, the time rotor is now lit up. A little more brighter than it was actually in the series, but that's okay. I don't mind. I'm not going to argue. Let me just turn off my lights here, and I can show you everything else that's lighting up here as well, as long as my camera will focus in on it. There we are. So as you can see, it's actually very hard to see, but there's not much I can do about that. The individual panels themselves, some portions of each one of them lights up. I couldn't, of course, make all the little bleeping lights on every console because, as I said, I made this out of scrap, so it was what I could find, and I have zero knowledge of basically anything to do with circuitry, so it was all crammed in there with wires and LED lights that I took apart. So it's quite messy in there, actually, but anyway, that's yeah, basically, you got your little computer readout screen there. I'll see if I can focus in on that here. Basically, I printed this off of I found a picture on the web somewhere. It basically just says Tardis Technical Manual at the top, and at the bottom it says Tardis Schematic Engineering, and I can't even read the rest of that, sorry. But yeah, I tried to fit as much detail into her as I could. And I will now show off the last little bit of tidbit. I through in there. Let me just get the lights back on. Here we go. And, oh, okay, there we go. That's a little better. And we'll get Mr. Tom in here again. Looks like he's actually doing something and piloting it and whatnot. And so yeah, here we go with the last little tidbit. Basically, there's two buttons on the top here, and you push one, and you push the other. And there we go. We are now, well, we're not actually traveling through time and space, you may have noticed that, but I did manage to get the time rotor to move up and down. A little bit slower than the series, but it was the best I could do with what I had. And it flashes as well, so again I'll turn off. There we go, that's a little better. You can see it flashing away now. Yeah, there you have it. All that little stuff is crammed into the bottom, so if you're wondering why the panels look a little fat, that would be why. But basically, there you have it. I'll give you one final rundown around the panel here. See if I'm even in focus here, I have no idea. There we go. Basically, it's got a 12-volt AC synchronous motor stuffed in there with a piston system, which seems to be acting up, unfortunately. I had it moving a lot smoother earlier, but I think maybe it's been sitting on display on my shelf for a couple months now, so I think possibly the lubricant on the piston has started to dry up, or something's just managed to get in the way in there. There are tons of messy wires hanging on, dangling everywhere, so anything is possible. But again, as I said, it's all scrap. The piston is literally made out of Lego. The motor came out of one of those spinny UFO lights with the fiber optic cables. It runs off of the same AC transformer. And the majority of the LEDs in there are just out of a 12-volt LED light that I took apart. I think it had, like, I don't know, there's 3 lights in each panel, so. Anyway, there you have it, folks. The 4th Doctor's Key to Time series Tardis console, all custom handmade, and you can see in the back there too, I've also got the wall. It's a work in progress. No, that's way too close. This guy back here. Again, the lighting sucks. There. No, that's too much. I'll just turn that off. Yeah, it's a work in progress. Eventually I'm going to have all the panels and backlit, so you can't really see it, but they do. It's just Dixie cups. But the look is there, at least I think. Basically, my next project, I'm working on the original console from the Hartnell and Troughton years. And I eventually want to do all of them except for the new series, because they have toys for them anyway. So basically, one step at a time. As soon as I'm done the other one, it'll be a few months, I will take a video and post it of my next console. And yeah, there you have it, folks. As I said, 4th Doctor, TARDIS console from the Key to Time series.